Hi guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to connect your local working directory to GitHub Repository. As DevOps, one of the most common requests that I get from developers is to help them set up repository as well as to help them connect this repository to their local working directory. Now I'm going to be showing you the whole process of doing this. So right now I'm in my local working directory, and as you can see, this is empty at the moment. What I would like to do here is just to create a demo project, which is going to be a Next.js application. So I think one way to do this would be to actually go to Google and search create Next app, and just following the first link that appears, you will see an instruction there on how to create a new Next project. So within the directory that I'm going to be using as my work directory, I just want to open my terminal. I'm using Visual Studio Code as my editor today, and I just want to click on New Terminal. So open the new terminal. What I want is to use Git Bash, not PowerShell. So I've got my terminal open, and so the next thing I'm going to do is just to paste the code that I've copied from here into my terminal, and then you just hit enter. So the first question that will be popping up for you is your project's name, which I'll be calling Ijebu Projects. I'll just leave it as Ijebu PRO, and I click enter. Do you want to use TypeScript? It's yes. ESLint, yes. Tailwind CSS, yes. Import ls customize, no. So just basically hit enter on your keyboard all the way to the bottom. Then you give it a moment. Yeah, now as you can see, you've got your project set up within this folder called Ijebu Pro. What I would like us to do now is to actually set up a repository within GitHub. So you want to go to your GitHub, and then at the moment I've got all kinds of repository there, but I would like to set up a new repository which I'll call Ijebu Projects. So right here I just want to give it a unique name, which will be Ijebu Projects. Just make sure you give it a unique name. It doesn't have to be named exactly as what the developer has named his or her project directory. So you just want to come here and just give a simple description. It's optional, you don't have to. So the next thing you want to do is to decide whether this project is going to be public or private. In most cases, it's going to be private. So you can just go ahead and select private. Now you don't need to add a readme file on this occasion, and the reason being that if you look right in here, you will see that there is, Git is already initialized within this folder, coming straight out of the box from Next. As you can see, you've got a readme file existing, so you don't want to add another readme file, so just ignore. And also it's got git ignore, and you just want to leave it as default, and then you want to create your repository by hitting the create button. So what do you see within the folder, within the repository? It's totally empty at the moment. There is nothing in there. Okay, cool. So what I would like to do really quickly is to actually check if this project is actually working well. So what you want to do is to go to the package.json file, and just to see what command you might need to run. All right. In this instance, I just want to test in dev environment, right? So I just want to do, let me clear the screen first and do npm run dev. So make sure you are within the directory of your project, okay? And then you hit enter, give it a moment, and as you can see, the project is starting on localhost 3000. I can see it's compiling. Now it's compiled, and there is another event happening here. So you just have to be patient and give it a moment. All right, now I think it's finished compiling. Everything is fine. Let's go to our browser and see what it looks like. There it is. So you can see this is just a basic template out of the box from Next.js. So there is nothing to do here, but what we might want to do as part of our test is just to make some changes within the page.tsx file. So I want to go to the app folder, and just right within there I'll find this page.tsx file, pop that open, and then you just want to do a really simple edit in there. I think I'll just make a simple change to this particular file here, and I'll save it. Instantly, Next picks that up and it's going to render for you. Look at that. On the localhost 3000 page, you can see that the change that I made reflects right away on the front end. All right, now, so back to the original reason why we are here. So we have made a change to the page.csx file. What I want to do is to make sure that I connect my repository to this working directory. All right, now here is my repository again, and the command to use is the git remote add. Now you're gonna name your origin, give it a name. If you want to go really simple, you just want to do origin, and that is going to be your Git repository on GitHub, right, or elsewhere depending on which one you're using. It might be Bitbucket, GitHub, GitLab, and so on. But I don't want to name mine origin, so I want to change it to maybe Ijebu origin. All right, and then I need to provide the link to my repository. The link to my repository is what you find right here. I'm just going to copy that, and I'll move back to my terminal and pop that in, and then hit enter. Now that should have done the work. My project directory should be linked to the repository right away. However, how do we verify whether that's been linked or not? So what I want to do now is to just check by doing git remote -v. So what this does is to show you which origin your directory is fetching from and which origin it's going to push to. All right, let's see. As you can see, you have Ijebu origin here, and it's fetching from there. That is exactly where we wanted it to be fetching from, and we also have that it's pushing to that same repository. So everything looks perfect, good. I mean, now that everything is connected, now that we have our local project directory connected to the repository, we need to verify that it's indeed working by pushing all of our codes within this project folder to our repository. Once again, if you check your repository, you will see that it's totally empty at the moment. If you refresh it, yeah, it's empty at the moment, right? So by default, we're working within the master folder of our next projects. However, because we are using GitHub as a repository, so GitHub has this habit of calling your main working branch the name main. What we like to do now is to create a new branch named main by doing git checkout b main, right? Cool, awesome. So with this, we're going to be pushing our code to the repository. So let's check what has changed. Remember earlier, I changed the texts within the page.tsx file. So let's check again by doing git status, just to see what has changed. And indeed, so Git is telling us that we have made a change. We have modified this particular file. So what we then need to do is to make sure that we add this to the stage by doing git add. There are different ways you can do this. If you have modified a lot of files, you might just want to do git add dots like that. That's going to add all of the modified files to the stage. However, on this occasion, because I know specifically the file that has changed, I just want to go right there and I just pop the name of the file there, git add that to stage. Perfect. And then the next thing I want to do, let me quickly clear the screen. So the next thing I want to do is then to commit, right? Git commit, and you want to give your commit a reasonable name. For example, I'll just say by me. There you go. Now your changes have been committed. You can see the summary of your changes here. One file changed, one insertion, and one deletion. And that's exactly what happened. So what we want to do now is to push the old code base into the repository by simply doing git push. Then you meant to do origin and then the name of the branch. Now, But remember that in our case, we actually renamed the origin something else. And to find out what that was, you just want to do your git remote v just to see what we've named the origin. And we've named it Ijebu origin. Okay, good. So I'm just going to go git push Ijebu origin, and then the name of the branch is main. And I just want to go hit enter. So you give it a moment and let's see what happens next. Voila. So that's all done for you. So all the code base that you've got within your local directory has now been pushed to exactly the same branch, which is from main branch on your local directory to the main branch within your repository without any headache. So you want to go here and then refresh your repository, and that is it. Thank you.